Ladies and gentlemen, I am running out of L's for Texas. And Texas, our state, our home state, takes another L for this story right here. I want y'all to take a look at this. That's an older picture and a newer picture of that boy, but I want to back it up real quick because I look at this one right here. That's probably the most precious picture to me. And I look at this picture and I'm like, what are our children doing that are so bad that they are getting this level of treatment from people who are supposed to be protecting them? And I think this is why my channel stands. I'm going to continue to speak on this until I start to see a change. I'm going to continue to help advocate that criminals get the most amount of time in prison, the most amount of punishment, and continue to help get people arrested that hurt our babies. We have a long history of advocating for our children, and we're going to continue that. And especially if you guys continue to support and show love and share our message, share our videos, and clicking that thumbs up. Very easy ways to support that. Okay? So, some of you guys, if you've never been here before, you might find my content and my opinions controversial. So I always start that off. So I always find it really weird that people still have an issue with the things that I say. When I tell you off top, this is what it's going to be. The information is coming from credible sources. Check them out. The video commentary is also going to have my personal opinion about the facts of the story. The point is to use this as a cautionary tale to try to save our kids. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. Let's talk about this angel that you see on my screen. Texas taking another L out of Wharton County. A 2-year-old Wharton County boy, and I'm getting this information from abc13.com, so thank you for the article. This boy endured repeated abuse throughout his entire life. Through his short life, for his first few days after birth until the day that he died, a report revealed. Eyewitness News obtained the little 2-year-old boy by the name of Daniel Escamia. Daniel Escamia, Escamia. I want to try to put some respect on his name. I can't really pronounce it very well because visually it kind of looks like it's Escambia, but that's not correct. But his fatality report on Tuesday, and more than 3 months after he succumbed to extensive injury and trauma to the head, as explained in his autopsy. That's just really sad. I want y'all to look at these two demonic, pixelated looking individuals split on the left and right hand side. The devil's own children. Daniel's mother, Rebecca Hart, on the left-hand side, is charged with capital murder, while the boy's father, Eddie Escamia, is charged with child endangerment with bodily injury. I feel like his last name instead of Escamia should be Escambia, because they're a scum. Scum of the freaking earth. And it looked like he's actually snarling, like he's making like a mean little face on the right-hand side of that picture. Am I tripping? Because that's what it looked like to me. Like he turning his nose up or something. These people got some damn nerve. Let's keep going. According to the Department of Family and Protective Services Child Fatality Report, Daniel's young life was dotted with abuse and neglect investigations. Let me say that again. They've been investigating. They had 2 years, his entire life, to save his life. The number one responsibility is the parents. The parents are the number one people that failed him. But I also have an interview from some of the family members, and y'all have got to hear that. And I'm not going to put this off on them, but it just really sucks the fact that you had more people that knew that this was going on and couldn't make anything happen legally. Okay? But let's keep going. The department confirmed on March 13th of 2020 an allegation of neglect after a baby tested positive for drugs. If that is not the biggest red flag of crappy ass parents, I don't even know why we even have child protective services to begin with. They should have never have had this child. The department confirmed, so the Department of Family and Protective Services confirmed A March the 13th, 2020 allegation of neglect after the baby tested positive for drugs. A year later, in March and April of 2021, allegations of physical abuse and neglect were reported. Somebody saw something and said something. They were neither substantiated nor disproven, but on April the 27th of 2022 this year, the risk assessment for Daniel and his two siblings were high. 2 weeks later, on May 9th, he would be dead. Carolyn Roberts, the senior staff attorney for the child advocacy group Children at Risk, noted the CPS system is facing challenges, but those shouldn't have kept them from closely looking to the Escamias. The Escambias. They are understaffed and underfunded and need more support. With that said, with that high priority, you will want more attention and support provided to these children, Roberts said. According to the report, on the day of his death, Daniel had unexplained injuries all over his 2-year-old body. The department confirmed that he had not been fed. Let me say that again. While you got these two fat-faced fat fuckers on my screen, excuse my language. I am tired of watching people who know the value of sustenance, that know the value of stuff in their face with everything that they can find on the $1.99, the dollar value menu, ain't never missed a meal, but will starve a child that can't feed himself, can't work a job, and cannot provide for himself. That child depends on these parents for everything that they get. If y'all notice, I get hung up, and every time I talk about food, I get a lump in my throat. I get caught up. I want to cry. I want to curse. I want to just break something. Because eating is the basic thing that every living thing on planet Earth needs. Some of my favorite videos on YouTube involve animals, like Pity Nation on, I think that is the dodo. Love watching Pity Nation. I love seeing them save little baby goats and pigs and birds and just all kind of animals. Mainly dogs. Love watching the dog videos. And it's just like, I feel that there's more of a cry to take care of animals, and no disrespect to the dodo and no disrespect to PETA or anybody that cares about animals. I totally get that. But I feel like their videos get more coverage, their videos get more shares, their videos get more views. Those stories get told and shared way more than 2-year-old Daniel Escamia's page, than his video, than his story. Why can't a million people know about why this little boy apparently didn't deserve an opportunity to grow up and become something great? That his life mattered less than a one-legged sheep. His life mattered less than a dog in Venezuela. That his life mattered less than a bird that fell out of a tree and somebody raised it and got it strong so it can grow up and go off on its own. There are people out there that care more about animals than they do about the thing that they can relate to the most, the thing that they look like the most, the place where they came from. They came from being babies, to infants, to toddlers, to preteens, to teenagers, to young adults, to adults, parenthood. And those type of people don't see how this is a problem. They're not talking about this. They're not sharing this. They're not outraged about this. I'm just lost. I see more people care about hummingbirds than they do about 2-year-old Daniel Escambia's life, who literally from the moment he was born was doomed when they found drugs in this newborn baby's system. That's an automatic red flag. They should never have been given any opportunities after that to be parents. Big ass red flag. Shouldn't be there. But they say, you know what? We need to give these parents a chance to go ahead and finish him off. Like Mortal Kombat. He needs to finish him. Finish the job, right? Is that what they were expecting? The system is overworked. They should have said, baby got tested positive. Get him out. Don't need to be there. End the story. That's it. You can't tell me and look at this baby's face and tell me that somebody out there wouldn't have adopted this child and gave him a chance. Look in his eyes. Sometimes you can see that light in a baby's eyes, and you can just see all the promise in the world. That baby would have stood a better chance living with anybody else. Anyway, according to the report, on the day of his death, Daniel had unexplained injuries all over his body. The department confirmed that he had not been fed and was forced to sleep in a closet by himself in his filthy home near El Campo. His brother and sister were removed. So he had 2 other siblings. Previously, the parents were given family basic safety services. The 2 people were supposed to protect him did not, investigators say. Robert urges any adult who suspects abuse to keep reporting. You can report abuse, neglect, and exploitation incidents through the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services website. To be honest, I'm not so sure if this system is overworked. What good is it going to do? They had 2 years. If you can't, how much paperwork needs to be done in 2 years to realize that this child didn't need to be there? I'm just dumbfounded by that. Let me give you guys a fair usage. I got a couple of news videos to show. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And again, no hate to those other YouTube channels. Like I say, I mean, people watch what they like. But again, I just think that it would be nicer if more people were to kind of get on board and start sharing these children, these babies' stories who need their voices to be heard, okay? Anyway, here we go. News video. Let's get it.
A mother is accused of murdering her 2-year-old son, and she will now have to post $1 million bond just to get out of jail. 21-year-old Rebecca Hart is charged with capital murder of a child under 10. A judge in Wharton County also said $250,000 bond for the boy's father. There he is, Eddie Escamia, who is charged with child endangerment with bodily injury. Prosecutors say the couple repeatedly abused Daniel Escamia before he died last week. Family members told ABC 13 they feared this would happen.
He'd always had bruises on him, on his head, and it was always always on his head. He always had bruises on his head, and bruises on his back, bruises on his leg, like bruises on his stomach, just everywhere. And it's saddening that nobody did nothing about it.
And the family went on to say that they told CPS about what was happening in the home. The agency is now investigating. Daniel's 3-year-old sister and 9-month-old brother have been removed from the home.
So again, I just want to make sure and clarify, that's part of why I can't get mad at the family. These people had 3 kids. The family members saw something, they said something, they reported it and been reporting it, and it just went on deaf ears. I always tell you guys, do not put yourself in legal jeopardy by trying to jump in and do something like take this kid out of their possession, even though this kid needed to be saved. But that's also going to put you and your family and your loved ones at risk as well if you end up in jail. So I never encourage you guys to break the law. I never encourage you to do that. All you can do is just report it and just hope. Hope for the best.
Tonight at 10, 13 Investigates uncovers new information about the timeline leading up to a 2-year-old's death in Wharton County.
According to authorities, Daniel Escamia suffered continuous physical abuse leading up to his death in May. His mother and father are now charged. ABC 13 reporter Jessica Willey joins us live with a look at the new report out tonight, laying it all out. Jessica?
Yeah, Gina, the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services released their child fatality report on Daniel Escamia. It details the state's investigations throughout the toddler's short life, their very first investigation at his birth.
He's just a baby. He was not my baby, but he was like my baby.
Extended family members were devastated by 2-year-old Daniel Escamia's death. Beaten at his home in May, according to the Wharton County Sheriff's Office, his little body enduring continuous physical abuse. His mother, Rebecca Lynn Hart, in jail, charged with capital murder. His father, Eddie Escamia, with child endangerment with bodily injury. This new report describes the relentless abuse.
How heartbreaking. And there were multiple chances to potentially save this child, and that's not what happened.
According to the Department of Family and Protective Services child fatality report, Daniel's young life was dotted with abuse and neglect investigations. The first one coming right after he was born. The department confirmed a March 13th, 2020 allegation of neglect after the baby tested positive for drugs. A year later, in March and April of 2021, allegations of physical abuse and neglect. They were neither substantiated nor disproven, but on April 27th of this year, the risk assessment for Daniel and his 2 siblings was high. 2 weeks later, on May 9th, he would be dead.
The other thing
Caroline Roberts, the senior staff attorney for child advocacy group Children at Risk on CPS.
They are understaffed, underfunded. They need more support. But that said, with that high priority, you would want more attention and support to be provided to these children.
According to the report, on the day of his death, Daniel had unexplained injuries all over his body. The department confirmed he had not been fed and was forced to sleep in a closet by himself in his filthy home near El Campo. His brother and sister were removed. Previously, the parents were given family-based safety services. 2 people who were supposed to protect Daniel did not, investigators say. Roberts urges any adult who suspects abuse to keep reporting.
You have to be a voice for the helpless.
My closing thoughts. Again, some of the simplest things that we could do is just simply communicate, and these stories definitely need to be communicated. And look, these people clearly didn't want these kids. If you ask me, we can get one of our hashtags in the chat. Y'all can type it in there. Hashtag babies for benefits. This alleged mother and alleged father only had these 3 children in order to collect benefits off of them, whether that be to pay for their Section 8, their food stamps, whatever type of housing or child support, whatever they were getting off of this. I don't know what they were getting off of this. But you clearly didn't love the kids. You clearly weren't trying to build a legacy. You clearly didn't want to see these children grow up and become something great. So why else did you have them? One would have to think if you're having kids because you don't give a crap about them, you're trying to benefit off of their backs. Hashtag babies for benefits. I believe that was exactly what the situation was. May their souls rot in hell where they originated from. Their original father, Satan himself. Life in prison, no bond, no rehabilitation. Shouldn't be on this planet anymore. But nonetheless, at least life in prison. Let me know what you guys think about this story. Daniel Escamia, young prince. R.I.P. Leave your comments in the comments section. Like and subscribe to the AFC podcast. We want to try to build this message. We're going to continue to keep going. But let me know what you guys think, okay? Thank you.